back here, Joe and Jason, Patriot Radio News Hour on this Friday, allamericangold.com. Our 800 number, where it's getting fixed. Something happened yesterday afternoon. Here's the funny part now. We've made a little progress. The 800 number is now going to our fax machine. And it's our fax printer, so we're getting closer. But 623-780-3117, or go to allamericangold.com, go to the shopping cart button. Hopefully before sometime today, the 800 number will be back and operational. But we have two great sale items. First, the $20 gold piece. Gold's off $4, 2016, at $100 off. You heard me right, $100 off, and I've got a bunch of them. So you big guys, tell you what, $23.95, 20 or more, $23.85, 50 or more, $23.75. There you go. Right? Let's just go for it. 800. Well, I don't know. You're not kidding me. 800-951-0592. Don't call that number. Don't do it. Call 623-780-3117.
If you catch the replay show later today, it should be up and running. So go ahead and call the 800 number if you're hearing this later in the day.
I think we're hopefully very, very close to having that working. And then the rolls of dimes. Because I get a lot of people like, Joe, come on, man. $2,395. You know how long it'd take me to save $2,395? I get it. We got rolls of silver dimes today. You're saving $12.50. $125 a roll. I mean, rolls of silver dimes. Monday, they were $142.50. So, big savings there as well. Check them both out. You can order those online as well. And Jason, man, this thing getting weirder. China now, according to Bloomberg, says that they are going to cancel more purchases of grains and corns from the United States because they can buy them cheaper from Brazil. And they're saying that hog feed and other things are going to be next. And of course, right, Brazil, China, right, part of BRICS, South Africa. We know that Brazil and China now are trading in renminbis. And it was, you know what? And I'm so mad at myself because I saw it and I meant to save it and I forgot and I can't find it. Another country has come out and saying, hey, we want to start trading in renminbis. And of course, the news late yesterday afternoon, the United States is accusing South Africa of providing weapons to Russia. And something very interesting is happening outside of the G7. And, throw Canada and Australia. I'll say the closer allies of the United States now, the vast majority of countries are siding with Russia. Now, I guess the good news is 60% of the world's GDP sides with us. But that actually means the majorities of the countries of the world, Jason, are starting to say, well, you kind of forced the situation here. And now a country is being accused of providing weapons, right? I mean, are we going to be in this whole thing? Obviously, we got us and all our allies giving the weapons to Ukraine. If it goes, all of a sudden, all these other countries start giving all these weapons to Russia. Is that World War III?
Yeah, that would be an easy worldwide emergency to put into place if the world economy needs to be switched. This reset that's been talked about. You're not hearing the word reset as much this year as you did last year in 2021. But yeah, you need an emergency because it's going to be detrimental to a lot of lower class, lower income people. When our food prices go up, other countries starve. We're fortunate to be in America for a great deal of reasons. One being that it's really hard to starve in this country, at least right at this moment. And so countries moving to Russia's side. I mean, Joe, obviously, if I was running a country, I wouldn't choose any side. That's like, well, that's a Ukraine-Russia problem. That's not my problem.
I think I guess not choosing a side is probably choosing Russia's side, right? I mean, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, right? I mean, I think that's how they're looking at it anyway. That, the people that do this stuff, I'm not, it's not like I'm calling these countries, right? I have no idea. That's just what they're saying. But it is, I think, something a little different though, because of all of these nations, Argentina, Brazil, obviously the whole entire Middle East now, a lot of these African nations saying, hey, let's just get into the renminbi business. I think that's another vote, right? That's kind of voting with your dollars or not using dollars. And then now you have these countries deciding to cancel orders with the United States. Hey, you know what? You keep that wheat, keep that corn. We're canceling because our new friends, right? They're going to sell us it for less, and that's kind of another development, right? Another situation here where I think, again, when you talk about, well, what's the future look like over the next 5 to 10 years? I think this is why a lot of people out there are going, yeah, it's going to be a lot tougher in the United States. Obviously, listen, we're still, I don't want to overstate this, right? We're still the U.S. Let's not kid ourselves. As Jason said, we're real good at producing food, right? We're real good at getting stuff done, if you will, in entrepreneurship and trade and all of that stuff. But the rest of the world's catching up, Jason. I mean, that's just the reality of it.
Well, and I think other countries, so-called taking Russia's side, I mean, currently what you got going on is it seems like anything when it comes to energy, America's shutting it down. And I don't hear anything about Russia purposely shutting down anything that they're producing. And so if you're a country that needs to buy resources, especially energy, I mean, it's obviously going to get cheaper from Russia, isn't it, Joe? I mean, doesn't that seem like it's just going to get cheaper coming from Russia if America shuts down the amount that they can export and Russia is just cranking it out? And of course, you have the pipeline that shut down, right? You got all these factors, and we know that energy is the big one when it comes to war.
Yeah, and again, when it comes to use of currency, we've talked about it. Oil, it dwarfs every other commodity. It's not even close. So the games continue, don't they? Patriot Radio News Hour will be back after the break. Gold's down 3, silver's down 30 cents here, 23.95. Gold's at 2017. The Dow's down 100 points now. At some point today, 623 or 800-951-0592, but 623-780-3117. We had an issue with our 800 number. It's being fixed as we speak. We're hopeful that here in the next little bit, it'll be back up and working. The two specials, the rolls of silver dimes at $125. The $20 gold pieces, $23.95, 20 or more, $23.85, 50 or more, $23.75. 623-780-3117, or you can order online at allamericangold.com. And Jason, you don't think that we haven't talked about the border. How is this going to affect inflation? I mean, over 10,000 people a day. I mean, we're talking about somewhere approaching 4 million people are trying to get into the United States in a single year. I mean, I think, the government never updates its the illegal number. It's always like 12 million, yet somehow 2 to 3 million people a year have been coming in, but now it's escalated. I heard yesterday it's so bad. They got troops down there now and everything else, that the first court date, because they're got to show up for court, 3 years. Some places 4 years. Think about it. Yeah, well, we're going to get to you, but it's going to be 4 years, and of course, listen, by the time this wave is over, probably be 5 or 6 years. But these people got to live somewhere. They got to eat, right? They've got, right, Jason, all of these things. This is, you never really think about it, but that's inflationary without a doubt.
Yeah. It's more people fighting for the same amount of goods that are being produced, and then there's been a shortage of goods the last few years. Let's face it; it's not as plentiful as it used to be, and so this feeds inflation. However, with my understanding of immigration and the population collapse that's going on in this country, I think it's quiet, but it's there. The government knows they need these people here because they can't run this country with the lowering of the population levels. It used to be 100 years ago, it was quality people that were coming, people that really were entrepreneurs, people that really wanted to build a life. Now the people that are coming are just trying to survive. They're crossing the border just to survive because the countries they're coming from, they're having trouble surviving. And Joe, it's I remember when I was really little. I mean, I don't know how old I was, 5. I remember my mom took a job at McDonald's. I think it was just for a short time, but it was a good paying job. She went from a stay-at-home mom to working McDonald's, and she worked it, I think, for a very short time, but it really brought income into the house. It was a good paying job. And I don't go to fast food places very often, but when I go in there, and not to, we're going to stick with the immigrants coming over the border. It used to, it went from adults to teenagers working it, and it went from teenagers to immigrants working these jobs. Right, Joe? They're filling the spaces that essentially Americans aren't populating because we just aren't making people here. So the country is changing, Joe, and it's really well-to-do people, educated, smart people, inventive people. They're going to China, or they're going to South Africa, or they're going to Europe and certain nations. They're going to places where the money is better, and there's a better standard of living on the horizon. I mean, let's face it. If you're going to go build your life, Joe, you're out of college, or you're in your 20s, you're ready to build your life, and you're going to go anywhere in the world you want to go, and you're thinking about it. You think, well, America looks like it's declining. Where's it going to be in 20 years? Maybe I'll go to China, or maybe I'll go to any number of well or more well-doing European nations. Maybe you want to go to Australia. There's a lot more choices. There's competition for quality people, Joe. India is another one. India used to send all their people here, and we loved getting all their technologically savvy people to work our jobs here, right, Joe? I'm betting the tech sector is having trouble getting those people to come over to America now. This is the way it is, and so the illegal immigration, Joe. What do you think it's going to be next year, in 5 years? There are going to be so many people pouring over the border. I don't think anyone's going to stop them, Joe. I think Republican or Democrat, they're just going to let these guys pour right over the border.
It is an interesting thing because on one hand, Jason's not wrong, right? We're not having enough kids, right? So to avoid population decline, you're going to need immigrate. Now, do you need 4 million? No, right? That's way more than what is needed. But again, it's an interesting subject when we look at the fact that this is seemingly part of the plan, right? Which is forget about borders. I mean, this never happened before. This is kind of this new phenomenon, really, in the last 10 years. Where, I mean, it used to be, if 1 million people tried to cross, that would have been an outrageous number. Now, I mean, we've been 2+ million for years, and now all of a sudden it's jumping again. And to Jason's point, as this whole world, this whole world's going through a reset, and these poorer countries they're going to have a real tough time until the reset is over. I think you're right, Jason. I think we could see a decade plus of this type of stuff happening. And like you said, hey, they're just trying to survive.
Just trying to survive. That's for sure, Joe. We'll be right back. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be right back.
Six 623-780-3117, our 800 line, not back yet. It will be up before the end of the day. There's some kind of snafu. And then allamericangold.com, you can order online, rolls of silver dimes at $125. And then on the gold side, the big $20 gold sale, $23.95, 20 or more, $23.85, 50 or more, $23.75. And Jason, yeah, right. The government, you know what? Since let's just go back, it started at the during Obama. The Trump years, we were at about 2 million a year every year. That now we're, the Biden, they got 2.5, 3, now 4 million. Jason just showed me this thing. The government, they're so far behind. What are they saying, Jason? What they still right, 11 or 12 million. It never changes.
Yeah, they say the population's gone up about a million people a year the last few years. I don't trust the numbers I just dug up. What they're saying is 331 million Americans in 2020, 332 million Americans in 2021, now 333 million Americans in 2022. That's just really nice and happy, those numbers. But if you take out the 2 to 4 million illegal immigrants, the population's down. And some people, I get it. There's a lot of people that say, oh, there's just too many people here anyway. We don't need them. Well, that's great. How happy are you when you're walking around Walmart and you can't find a single person to help you find where to go in that monstrosity to find whatever item you're looking for? That's lower standard of living. And if you don't have people in there filling those roles and you don't have a higher standard of living, life becomes worse. And that's what we're seeing when you have population not increasing. You don't have growth. Joe, that's why GDP is such an important number. You want growth. You want the country to grow. And there's plenty of room for more people, no matter what what you hear on the TV. There's plenty of room for growth and for more people and more cities to grow. It's there, but there's a lot of confusion, Joe, with the message of what's actually going on. And if you want more money and you want a higher standard of living, you want more people. That's just the way it is. But you do want a higher quality of people if you really can get them, Joe. And that's why America. Let's just face it, America brought in the best people for decades and decades and decades. I just don't think the last, I would say 2 decades plus, we've got the best people come here anymore.
Well, and again, right, China's emerged, their economy has emerged, so there's opportunities there, probably more opportunities there. India is emerging. Apple, people make a big deal, but Apple's been planning to go to India for a long time. But when they start building factories there, right, that quality of jobs improves there. And of course, India now the largest population, the most populous nation in the world. China's number 2 in the world. And again, like Jason said, even, countries like Brazil, right? Hey, the opportunities there continue to get better. There's just more competition, I think, kind of like what we were saying with trade, right? Hey, we've got more options now. It used to be, hey, if you needed trade, America was who you did it with. And now all of a sudden, the rest of the world says, hey, you can do it with us without them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, you know what? We'll keep tracking it, Joe. Of course, we'll see. Illegal immigration is a hot button topic, right?
Very hot button. Very hot button. God bless everybody. We'll get these phone lines straightened out. And Jason and I, we're going to wrap up the week with an hour edition of the Half Empty Cup.